welcome to the first episode of the Politics Shit Show. I'm Johan, and I'm joined by
Rakan.
Today we're going to be talking about the French election, which is, a shit show, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what's happening. As it's unfolding now.
Yes. I mean, you know, because there's two major parties in France, and neither of them made it to the second round of the presidential election. Because the first round has just been. Second round's in 2 weeks. And neither of the big parties, the historical parties, are in the running.
But the reason I wanted to talk about this is not just because of this unique dynamics of French politics that's happening for the first time. It's actually because we have Marine Le Pen. As she's at 21.3% of the vote.
Yes. I don't know this thing about like, oh yeah, all the foreigners and like, you know, oh, it's also shit. And it's like, okay, are you gonna start cleaning toilets, baking pizzas, you know, working the convenience stores? Like, are you gonna do those jobs? Because that's the thing, like, people don't want to do these jobs generally. Like the work that these people, the European people, come in and take are jobs that just weren't being filled before to you know, enough of a degree. And so it's just, you know, okay, let's say you shut the door on Europe and you kick everyone out. Then what? You fucked.
Yeah. I actually also like the whole where you have Donald Trump tweeting, very interesting election currently taking place in France. Like I would like to think, you know, a sober, you know, interesting presidential Donald Trump, you know, talking in that sort of tone. Yeah. How these sort of people around the world are putting their nation first and having their populist agenda, but somehow are also agreeing with the other person on the other side of the borders.
Oh yeah. They're banding together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was an interview that I didn't watch. I have to admit, but it was an interview with the leader of the Sweden Democrats, or the Swedish far right party, right? And I'm going to assume that he said as well that, oh yeah, it's very nice that people have finally realized that, you know, all these foreigners are ruining their country just like they're ruining ours.
Exactly. I mean, you also have Theresa May, right? And how they're supposed to be like getting along with Donald Trump, but it's like, aren't you both foreigners to each other? Aren't you supposed to hate each other? But yet you're like patting yourselves on the back, like, good job, other country, kick the foreigners out of your country.
It makes more sense that Theresa May and Donald Trump are bonding because of that than it does that Marine Le Pen is praising Trump. And even worse, why are they praising Putin?
Yeah, that makes no sense to me.
Because that's what are you doing? Like, you know, it's like, oh, freedom, and like, we must protect our country and all these things. And then like Russia, that's by far the biggest threat, you know, against Europe, which then includes France, obviously. It's like, oh no, but, you know, Putin's great. It's like, no, he's a threat. He's a like, he's there right now. Like, I'm not saying anything's gonna happen, but if you had to pick a threat, he's right up there, like, number one spot. But here's the thing. There's been reports that she's been getting, well, not her personally, but like the campaign's been getting Russian money.
Oh, well, what else?
Just like there's been reports about Trump also having connections with Russia, right? It's this trend, and then you have trolls, net trolls, Russian, confirmed, working to get her elected.
Oh, that's great,
right?
I mean, but how does that feed into Russian agenda? Having those sort of, you know, populist people in power.
Okay, so I mean, with Trump in the US, first of all, that's pretty obvious. It's because, well, first of all, he was being friendly towards Russia, but also he's an idiot, right? So it makes sense to have an idiot in charge of the US. Now, it might backfire because he's totally unpredictable and he might do something stupid that's going to hurt Russia in the end. We'll see. But for Europe, for all the elections here, getting the populists elected that will also want to withdraw from Europe and make Europe collapse, or the EU, collapse, is positive because Putin and Russia wants to see the EU destroyed or at least significantly weakened because there's lots of power in there, because Europe's very good for Europeans, for the member states. It gives them much more power, and it gives them cooperation, which makes them stronger, which makes them less vulnerable to Russian influence. And so obviously Russia's like, down with the EU, fuck the EU.
You know? What better way to dismantle the EU than have somebody from inside tearing it apart for you?
Yeah, right. And I mean, assume she gets elected, assume she follows through with leaving the EU. The EU might still, thanks to Germany, exist, but it's not going to be the same EU. It's going to be completely different. If it does, it's not going to be the same sort of, collective European project anymore. And it also opens up for a division between France and the rest of Europe, like there used to be when we had wars all the fucking time, right?
Yes, exactly.
But it's also like this entire idea. I mean, leaving Russia for a second. This entire idea that you can close the borders and it's all fine. We close the borders and no one gets in or out, kind of thing, right? It's like they don't say that, by the way. They don't say you can't get out. But if you close your borders, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think everyone else is going to be like, we know we can't get into your country, but you can come to ours?
Exactly.
What? No, it's a two-way street. That's the way the EU set up, because that makes sense. Everyone has open borders towards each other. Most are members of the Schengen area as well, so you don't need to show your passport. But even if you're not, it's a two-way street, right?
So one of the things I also found surprising about Le Pen is that she wants to ban all form of religious public display. And it's obviously targeted towards Muslims and women wearing the hijab. But it also goes across you can't wear the cross
or
the
like
yarmulke.
the Sikh helmet thing.
I love that.
Helmet, but
there's a comment. She's like, we don't have many Sikhs, so it's I'm sure they don't mind.
Exactly. I'm sure they don't mind. I mean, they deeply believe, but who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. So we don't have that many, so we can just hush them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's like a targeted way to keep them segregated out of their society, and sort of push into becoming uneducated, and split. Split basically.
You're giving her way too much credit. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah, she's just a crazy person. Like, what does this button do? I don't care. I'm racist.
She's not a crazy person. She's just playing on what works, like anti-establishment, hate against immigrants. I mean, she probably believes that immigrants are a problem herself. I'm not saying that she doesn't, but but all of this doesn't boil down to some sort of solid idea of how things should be run. But to take Sweden as an example, it's this idea that, if we just get rid of the immigrants, the refugees specifically, but immigrants in general in Sweden, right? I mean, not the ones that you are technically Swedish, that are born here and whatever, but the ones that came here, right? And the ones that aren't behaving as well and whatever. Then that's going to free up so much money. We're going to be bathing in it. We're going to have money for everything. It just isn't true. It's not true. You're not going to be freeing up all this money. It doesn't work like that. Right? Because you have to assume then, for that to be true, that these people give no money back to the state.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, exactly. But these people don't pay taxes at all, and they're not making any purchases. They're not business people or consumers, for that matter.
No, they're just taking money out. I mean, that's the claim, and it's not true.
They don't go to the supermarket and support the grocery store, or they don't buy any electronics, and they don't do any shopping at all.
Thank you for making it sound as ridiculous as it is, yes.
They're just a complete void that exists in a state that just takes money and, wastes in their productive negative impact on a country.
Yeah. But,
even if you had people like refugees, right? And states would just give them money, the money would be spent on and around in the community, right? Just doing that is a source of income for the people around them. So if anything, people should be welcoming refugees, because that it's a net positive for people around them. I mean, you could go far left with that idea, if anything, like it makes more sense to me to have, immigration and more population, to have more people around and more jobs, because you have more consumers.
Yeah, in the long run. But I mean, we do know that refugees do cost money in the
short
to
term.
medium term.
Yes, exactly.
Right, and it's not cheap, right? We know that, but then you have other things, and that's more like an actual political position. Is like, is it worth paying for it? Should we help them?
Well, I think you're right. We should just not have babies either, because babies cost a lot of money, and I think it takes a lot more time to have a baby.
Yeah, but the babies make more money than they cost at the same time, so that argument doesn't actually work.
What are you saying? The babies make more money?
Yeah, then they cost.
I don't know what babies you're talking about, man. Like all the babies I've seen, they're not productive members of society.
Yeah, but okay, fine. I see what you're saying, but I don't think your argument actually holds up if you really look at it. But I like the way you're thinking.
I flipped. I'm gonna be an ultra-right conservative. I'm gonna say we shouldn't have babies and we shouldn't have immigrants. We should just have everything.
But at the same time, no abortions.
At the same time, no abortions. Because you don't want to upset God, and
yes.
we'll have no abortions, but no babies, and I don't want to give away free condoms because that promotes sin,
and it's socialism anyway,
and it's social. So I don't want that. No condoms, no babies. We'll figure something out.
Yes, no condoms, just abstinence, and no babies,
and just abstinence. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be the ultra-right guy, and you have to convince me not to be ultra-right anymore.
Oh, it's alright, just vote for Le Pen. Oh, you can't, you're not French. Oh.
I'm not French. Oh. I don't know if you can get more right than Saudi, dude. Like, it's very popular. Sorry, not populist. I guess they have the racism covered. They got the religious thing covered. Like, yeah, Le Pen and Trump and the other guys are trying to go for the Saudi model, I think. Yeah, they're almost there. They're not there yet. They're trying.
And there's this strange connection too between, it's not just Trump, because that's kind of expected with religion in the US, but it's this religious angle as well. It's because it's the traditional values, and that includes religion. So suddenly, it's like, Christianity, ooh, it's so good, and I'm just, disregarding all the other garbage we already talked about. It's like, okay, so now you want to have religion back in society. Why would you? Why? What's good about it? Because I mean, I don't know. It's a relic of the past, basically, and there's no point to bringing it back. But that's the same thing with like nation-state borders. It's the same. It's a thing of the past. I mean, more and more anyway. And it's not gonna come back. Fucking adapt.
So I'm gonna save the talk about America and U.S. politics for a second episode. For wrapping up our first episode of the Politics Shit Show, I'm Rekan, and with me you're
Johan.
Hope you guys enjoyed our first episode. We'll catch you all next time.
Bye bye. Welcome to the Politics Shit Show on YouTube.
Yeah, that's totally not going to be our intro.
Yeah, boy. What's up? Gotta talk about the French election today.